Hi, I'm Robin Schultz with the Hoover Channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you'll always know when we have a new video coming up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started here. You guys ready over here? Okay. All right. Glad to see a full room again. Very nice. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you guys for being up here. Thank all of our media for being here as well. Good evening. I'm Heather Skaggs, and I'm the chairman of the Hoover Candidates Forum. This forum was established in 2016 with leaders from the Bluff Park and Monte D'Oro neighborhood. We formed this committee to connect Hoover voters with candidates. Many of our older and historic neighborhoods felt they were being overlooked and forgotten. The purpose of this forum was to give a louder voice so the people in those neighborhoods would be heard. More volunteers from many other communities across Hoover joined us. The planning committee and forum volunteers are comprised of individuals from several Hoover neighborhoods, including Monte D'Oro, Bluff Park, River Chase, Green Valley, and Ross Bridge. This year, we also wanted to include young residents and future Hoover voters. Tonight, we have 2 college students with us, and we also have members of the Hoover Bells who have been working with us and volunteering this evening and on Tuesday evening as well. How the questions were collected. All questions have come from a Google form that circulated on social media and via email for several weeks. Residents could ask as many questions as they like in a number of different topic categories. Questions could only be directed to all candidates, not individuals. We had over 80 questions submitted. That's a lot. We're not doing 80 questions tonight. As I said, not all the questions are going to be used due to time constraints. Tonight, while you listen to the mayoral candidates, you may have a follow-up question for either of them or both. Please write them on the individual note cards. Once you complete your question, one of our volunteers will pick them up for you. If you don't have any cards, you can raise your hand and one of our volunteers will bring you one. A volunteer will collect these cards and they will be delivered back there to our committee table, and we will get them ready to use during the follow-up portion of our evening. At this time, I'd like to introduce our host, artist and teacher, Darla Williamson of Bluff Park, and the president of the Monte D'Oro Neighborhood Association, Mr. Todd True. Before they come up here, I do want to address some rules for the audience. There will be no heckling. Everybody loves to clap and cheer on their favorite candidate. That's lovely. Please wait till the end to do that. It will get us off time and it's distracting. The chairman has the floor. If anyone needs to be removed, they will be. Now, if you will please welcome Darla and Todd.
Good evening. We're your hosts for the evening. I'm Darla Williamson.
And I'm Todd True. I am the president of the Monte D'Oro Neighborhood, and it is a sweet spot for me in Hoover. Welcome to the Hoover Mayoral Candidates 2025 Forum. Tonight you will hear from the candidates running for election or re-election for the mayor's office. Brocato and Chief Derzis will be answering questions from citizens tonight to help us understand more of their plans for the city of Hoover.
For this evening, we have volunteer readers to take us through the questions that you, the Hoover voters, submitted. They will read the questions to both candidates, and each candidate will answer before moving to the next topic. Our readers for the evening are Brandy Guthrie from River Chase and Kyle Hall from here in Bluff Park.
Candidates will have 2 minutes to answer each question. Our timekeepers tonight are Michael Allen and Lee Guthrie, both from River Chase. Don't forget that you do have note cards, or we will get you some if you don't, on the tables to submit any follow-up questions to the candidates, which can be used after the break. Write down your follow-up questions and signal one of the Hoover bells to pick them up.
Okay, at this time, we will start with opening statements from our candidates. You guys ready? All right. Mayor Brocato, do you want to go first? You go first? All right.
Good evening. I'm Nick Derzis. See a lot of familiar faces out there. Probably seen me. I've only been around here for a little over 40 years as a police officer, 20 and a half years as your police chief. I'm here with my wife tonight, Stephanie. Stephanie's the interior designer and has a store in Hoover, Alabama. We have 3 children, all who have graduated through the Hoover school system. Serving as police chief has prepared me for this step. I've had the honor of leading the largest department in the city. I've had the honor of managing the largest budget. And I do think experience matters. My record as chief, I think, has been a record low in crime for our city in the size of 100,000 people. Our record of crime, low numbers, probably matches any city in the Southeast. Our folks do an amazing job. We've got 240 employees, 193 sworn police officers. I decided to run because I feel like our citizens deserve accountability. When our citizens ask questions, they deserve answers. And tonight, we'll be giving our take, our ideas, and probably some stats. And I hope that everyone here fact checks. We need to check the facts to make sure that everything that is being said is correct. We're better than backroom deals and empty storefronts that I see. If you put your trust in me, I promise you'll get a mayor who works hard, and I'm not full of empty promises. I would appreciate everyone listening closely tonight. And again, I appreciate the opportunity to be here. We love Bluff Park. It is a special place. And I appreciate everyone's attendance. Thank you.
Y'all hold those mics. We'll get closer to you.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you. First, let me thank everyone for being here tonight, to our sponsors. We appreciate that. And of course, all of the citizens that are here. Important that you hear the candidates, so thank you for giving up your time. So, first thing, just let me ask you a question. Is Hoover better off than it was 9 years ago? I think you'll answer yes, and this is the reason I would say that. When I came into the office of mayor, the relationship with our schools it was just dismal. That's all there is to it. The mayor had major fights with the superintendent and the president of the school board. There was just no relation whatsoever. I changed all that. When I came to the schools, I built relationships through leadership, talking to the leadership, trying to understand them. We restored $9 million in cash and in-kind services to our schools. We made sure that we had full-time, every school resource officers in every school. And I met with every principal and still do that every year. And I'm in the schools probably 20 times a year at least. In public safety, when I came into office, the crime rate prior to my time coming in was at 8 years was the highest on record. In 2016, we changed that. Now we have the lowest crime rate in 16 years, and that's because we added 33 officers. We built a $4 million training center. We had state-of-the-art equipment for our police officers. Our police department is one of the few police departments in the country that is actually accredited. And then the other thing, our economy. We diversified our economy to include bringing in retail like Trader Joe's, professional businesses like STEM types of businesses like McLeod Software and Bassmasters. We revitalized empty buildings on the 280 corridor. We built a $90 million tourism industry, saving the SEC baseball tournament and setting all-time record highs here. In our neighborhoods, we adopted our first comprehensive plan, creating walkable communities in both new and older neighborhoods and giving our planning commission and city council a roadmap for growth. We added property maintenance codes to protect our non-HOA neighborhoods, and we've added miles of sidewalks all over the city. We've also added hundreds of acres of parkland and opportunities to take advantage of the Cahaba River. In the national recognition, they don't run out. We've been named over 25 times as the top city in a number of categories by national publications, and recently received from U.S. News and World Report the #1 city in Alabama and the top 25 city all across America. That's really great. And that's why I have endorsements by the Birmingham area realtors, Jefferson County DA Lanice Washington, State Representative Susan DuBose, Shelby County Commissioner Lindsay Allison, the mayors of Mobile, Dothan, Auburn, Tuscaloosa, Gardner. Thank you.
Well, welcome. All right. Our first topic is going to be historic neighborhoods. Historic neighborhoods. Yeah. Well, welcome. We're honored for both of you to be here. This topic is older and historic areas of Hoover. This has 3 questions. I will do one at each time. What are some positive developments you have observed in the older and historic areas of Hoover over the past 10 years? What additional ideas would you bring to the table to invest in, revitalize, and maintain these neighborhoods? Yes.
Great. Well, thank you. We have a really great planning department in our city. And one of the things that was very, very important to me when I came into office is to make sure that our neighborhoods remain strong and vibrant. And some of the things that we did, I had a meeting with folks in Eden Ridge, and they said, Mayor, we don't have an HOA, and we have properties here that are falling by the wayside and people are not taking care of them. We need an HOA that will help us enforce that. So I went to the city council, I went to our city attorneys, and I asked them, what can we do? They said, well, let's pass a property maintenance code. And so we did that, and now we give these neighborhoods the opportunity to report properties in their community that are not keeping up to standard. Grass may be grown, weeds, different things like that, and also automobiles that are broken down may still be in there. So we passed an ordinance that allows us to go in there and take care of those situations. And that makes sure that our neighborhoods are vibrant, that the property values are safe, and that folks can enjoy their home. And then the other thing that we did, we passed a comprehensive plan that looks at our city throughout the old and the new neighborhoods to make sure that our planning and zoning department both have guidance for how our city is going to grow. And then all throughout the city, old and new, from Greystone to Bluff Park to Russet Woods to Inverness, we've put sidewalks all over the city, miles and miles of sidewalks. And then in some of our older neighborhoods, we've either gone in and put new parks and rec, or we've gone in and improved them. So those are the types of things that we've done to make sure that we have a very, very vibrant, wonderful city. Thank you.
Please.
Hello, okay, there I am. What are some positive developments you have observed in the older and historic areas of Hoover
over the past 10 years. What additional ideas would you bring to the table to invest in, revitalize, and maintain these neighborhoods?
First of all, the Bluff Park area, for one, it's very exciting to drive around and see how many young people are buying these homes today. They're investing. Some of them are literally tearing down houses and building new ones, and that is just going to make just a very huge impact in the Bluff Park community. I also see some shopping centers in the area, and some of the historic areas that certainly could use some updating. And I think as a city, we can do some incentivizing to make sure that we work with ownership to try to revitalize, like they've done up here in Bluff Park with the one shopping center. The other one doesn't quite look as good. And I think that we as a city should do everything we can to work with those people to make sure that we can develop and bring prosperity to the area. Because again, Bluff Park is a very special place. Young people moving in. I'd love to see additional things that the city could do. And again, as a mayor, we'll certainly want to meet with those groups.
All right, Mayor, this is a second question. Still in the historic neighborhood category. Yes, yes, sir. Several building vacancies around Hoover are costing Hoover residents money. One example is 3021 Lorna Road, which is the Lorna Professional Building. The original plan was for the city to use it as the fire department administration offices or other offices. It is not currently being used. What are the plans for this empty building now?
Well, thank you for asking me that. That building was bought. You have to start all the way at the Public Safety Center. And we've got a great asset down there called National Computer Forensic Institute. And we got a $20 million grant to expand that, where they can take students from the police department, police officers all over the country, lawyers and judges and all Secret Service agents. They come here to Hoover, Alabama, and they train. They spend anywhere from 1 week to 5 weeks. So let's go back to there. We want to expand them. We got a $20 million grant to do that. So to enable for us to expand, we had to move somebody out of the location that they are in down to the Public Safety Building. At the time, the most logical area, most logical place to do that was the 3021 building. It was a building that we checked. It had great bones. It met everything that we needed. And so we purchased that building. I think we paid about $1.9 for it. It's worth about $3 million now. So it's a great real estate investment. So fast forward, it turned out, and then we got Riverwalk. That property became available. So we were able to move the Alabama Department of Revenue. We need to move somebody out of that building at the Public Safety Building. We were able to move them into Riverwalk, and we didn't need 3021 anymore. So here's the plans for 3021. We want an art center there. I've met with many of the leaders in art in our community, not a performing art, but a visual art. That's the plan that we have, I have, and have envisioned for our city. Thank you.
Sure. The 3021 building was purchased a few years back. The mayor took the fire chief and myself down to take a look at it and see if we had any interest in moving into it, and it needed a lot of updating. It could not be just move-in ready. It would take approximately anywhere from $3 to $4 million to get it up to speed that the fire department, the police department could utilize. So at that point in time, we, as far as the police department, were certainly not interested in moving there. The fire department, pretty much the same thing. It's been vacant now for a couple of years. I think that thing should be sold. If it's worth more than $2 million, it sure should be sold immediately. The Riverwalk project, now we're built, it was purchased when the city got involved with the Riverwalk for the surgery center. and now we're putting a regular business into it. We've got 3 employees working out of Riverwalk, and we spent about $6 million so far cash down there. So I'm just not real sure exactly what's going to take place with the 3021 building. I would think that if we did eventually get a performing arts center, we would have some sort of a visual and probably have artists that would have a gallery inside. That would really be the effort that I would have. I would like if we ended up with a performing arts center. And a performing arts center would have to be something that's very viable. We'd have to have a business plan that talked about packing for 9 years under this administration. Nothing's happened. They've never had a business plan. They've never had a location. So again, I see a PAC and having an area for local artists also.
Thank you. This is the final question in this area. There are a lot of empty buildings. How can the mayor's office negotiate to keep businesses in Hoover?
Number one, the empty buildings, if we don't own it, we don't control it. So there has to be a desire for the owners to actually do something. Now, if you run along the Highway 280 corridor, you will see that Meadowbrook and Inverness, they were vacant. There's nobody in the parking lot. Our economic development team went out there and we changed the whole mission of that corridor. Now it's identified not only by us, but other economic development groups throughout the state, even the state of Alabama, as a science, technology, engineering, and mathematics corridor. And so we were able to take large office buildings. There are probably 5 in Meadowbrook and maybe 8 or 10 in Inverness. And now those campuses are becoming vibrant. We recruited McLeod Software, used some things like incentives to bring them in. Bassmasters moved into Inverness. Again, adding some more professional types of businesses to that campus. And then I'll use Bluff Park as an example. We had a tale of 2 cities is the way I call it. You had 2 shopping centers up here. One owner didn't want to do anything, the other wanted to. The other one came to us, said, I'd like to revitalize my center and to do some things to it. We said, great, Mr. Harden, as a matter of fact. All of you in Bluff Park know him. So we got together with Mr. Harden. We laid out a plan. We kind of laid out what we wanted walkable. We wanted some meeting space, park space up there. And today, you've got a Piggly Wiggly, a new great restaurant. You've got a pharmacy. It's a beautiful area. Same thing took place on Lorna Road, where you have now Trader Joe's.
Okay. There are areas of our city that certainly looks tired. Galleria, Patton Creek, of course. 2018, we did a study for the Galleria. The study came back. Hoover Sun talked about it. There were all these fantastic ideas, and the administration said there were going to be some really positive things coming to the Galleria. So that was 2018. Fast forward 2025, we've just done another study for $200,000, which I guess hasn't come back because I haven't seen anything. I would assume the study will probably be very, very, very similar. So again, there's no plan, studies. We hope that now that Costco is building 8 miles down the road in Irondale, obviously it's going to have a negative effect on our sales tax revenue, and we need to be doing something about it. The administration always talks about that sales have declined because of Amazon. And again, I said the other day, my wife drags me to the Summit on Saturday, and I say, find a parking spot. You can't. And it's all because they have the stores that our folks from Hoover travel. Why can't we entice those major retailers to come to our city? And I think that we absolutely can. We've got 100,000 cars that cross 459 and Interstate 65 on a daily basis. And I think if we make a concerted effort to try to get retailers to come to Hoover, Hoover's a fantastic place. People move to Hoover for 2 things. They move for safety, number 1, and number 2, for education. We've got 2 of the finest. So again, I said we can do a lot better, but it takes getting out and driving the bus, not waiting for people to come to us. Thank you.
Okay. So this topic is transparency, and this time, Chief, we're going to start with you. It's a two-part question. So here's the first question. How would you define accountability through transparency?
How would I say that?
How would you define accountability through transparency?
Accountability, as a mayor, you're accountable to the citizens that you serve. We talk about transparency. City council meetings had problems being able to, if you couldn't get to a city council meeting, you ought to be able to sit home and watch it on television. And for some reason, that was a very, very hard undertaking. We spent a couple $100,000 to be able to watch television in your city council meetings. But they never showed the questions and answers at the end. Then we got a problem. Robin Schultz finally, over the years, has been televising those to our residents for years. But it's accountability. It's the fact that when our residents come to a city council meeting and ask questions, they deserve answers. And that's one of the reasons that I sat in city council meetings and people were having all these issues in the city and would come and you got a clock that says 3 minutes and people would watch that clock go from 3 minutes down to 45, 50 seconds and then finally just say, you know, I guess I'm not going to get an answer and have a seat. So again, accountability, transparency, we're accountable to the citizens. It's government for the people, by the people. And again, when I'm elected mayor, we're going to make sure that our financial disclosures, I'm going to make sure that we work with city council members. Why have 4 of the city council members endorse me? They endorse me because they know that I'm a team player, I'm somebody that I work good with people, and I'm certainly deliver results.
Mary, you want me to read again to you? Okay. Here we go. How would you define accountability through transparency?
So accountability through transparency, number one, you got to follow the law. And that's exactly what we do. We make sure that we follow the law in all the meetings that we have. If they're supposed to be open meetings, we have open meetings. If we have any type of new project that comes in that we want to go out in the community and get input from them. Now, in terms of the city council meeting, the mayor has nothing to do with the city council meeting. He is like a visitor there. He's an invited guest. The president of the council oversees the council, not the mayor. The president sets the agenda. He is the one that recognizes individuals. I don't have anything to do with the operation of the city council meeting. But let me just say this. We've been videoing, and this is not required by law. We've been videoing our city council meetings, I think, probably since COVID. But we even do more than that. You can go on our website today for accountability. You can look at our checkbook. You can look and see what our capital projects are, what our budget is. You can look at every audit that we've ever had. So that's pretty good accountability to me when you've got all of that to look at, and you can call me anytime you want, and we will answer your questions. That's accountability, and that's what I'm standing for, and that's what I've been a part of for the last 9 years. Thank you very much.
Okay, the second part of that question, back to you, Chief. What is your campaign slogan or theme, and how does it relate to the specific reason that you want to be the mayor?
Mine has been, let's make Hoover again. And it's a standard of excellence. Standard of excellence that we've had in the Hoover Police Department, the standard of excellence that the city of Hoover enjoyed for many years. When I hear make Hoover again, I go back to the days when the Galleria was thriving. And I've met people on this campaign trail that are now 30 and 35 and 40 years old, and they say, you know, I grew up on the other side of town, and on a Saturday, it was fantastic because we all got in the car and we drove from Centerpoint, from Gardendale. We came to the Galleria and we walked around. We had lunch. And it was a thriving metropolis. It was something that we looked forward to every Saturday. And when I say Hoover again, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about bringing back that momentum, bringing back that excitement we are a tired city. I mean, drive around the Galleria of Patton Creek, it is tired, and anybody that says it's not is wrong. The Galleria 9 years ago looked better than it was today. Patton Creek 9 years ago looked better than what it is today. And my slogan, Hoover, Hoover again, bring Hoover again. We are going to bring it back. We're going to work with the developers. We're going to do everything that we have to make it a thriving city that we can all be proud of.
Again. Mayor, here we go. What is your campaign slogan or theme, and how does it relate to the specific reason you want to be mayor again?
So that's moving Hoover forward. We don't want to go backwards. For 9 years, we have set an incredible pace from economic development to public safety to our neighborhoods to our parks and recreation. Everything that we've done has been a standard of excellence. I'll just start with our public safety, for instance. When I came into office, the crime rate 8 years before was the worst we had, according to their statistics. It's the best we've had in 16 years now. Our police and our fire department, both of them are accredited. That we didn't have that going when I came into office. That puts them at the forefront of public safety. Our schools, we were not treating them fairly. We were not funding them fairly. We were charging them for the SROs. When I came into office, we changed all of that. We had no economic development plan whatsoever. We have that now, and we continue to go out in the business community, and the way you do economic development, you can go all over the country if you want, and there's maybe some opportunities, but your economic development is from within your city, and every economic development expert will tell you that. So what we do, we go out and we knock on doors, and that's how we got somebody like BioHorizons knocking on their door. They needed to expand. We worked with them, worked with them. They expanded and they stayed in River Chase. Revere Control had an empty building on Highway 150. It used to be Winn-Dixie. We, again, knocking on doors. We need to go. We need to move. We need more space. We filled that empty space. Revere on 150. It's beautiful now, and backfilled where they left on Rocky Ridge Road. So we continue to move our city forward.
I'll get it. There we are. Mayor, this is to you. This is about stormwater. Relating to flooding and damage of private property due to aging or broken stormwater infrastructure, how should the city determine the course of action to fix the problem?
So we receive about $600,000 a year in stormwater fees. Over the last 4 years, we spent $13 million addressing stormwater. We have a really fantastic engineering department, and we have a plan, and they have every area of the city mapped out, and they have mapped out in their priorities. And so one of the biggest priorities right now is Green Valley, which they put money in the budget 3 years ago to have a study done on how do you do it, and to have that design. That design is now ready, and we'll put money again this year in the budget to take care of that. It'll be about a $2-3 million effort to take care of that. But what a lot of people don't understand is that many of the problems that you see, and I talk to mayors I'm with the Big Ten mayors, I'm with the mayors all over Jefferson County. This is not just a Hoover issue, stormwater. This is all over the state, really all over the country. But stormwater is an issue that people think the city is responsible for everything, and we want to be. But if there's an issue that comes up in a private dwelling, our engineers go out and assess it. They determine whether it's public property or private property or something that we have accepted maintenance of, and then they come back and determine if it's something we can fix, or if it's on private property, we have to take that to city council. They're the only ones that can declare public purpose that we can put money in private property. So it's not something the mayor can just say, hey guys, let's go up and dig this ditch out, or let's fill this ditch. It has to be funded and approved by the city council on private property.
Yes, we have an aging infrastructure and we need a master plan. Hoover can lead. We've got to quit just reacting to emergencies. I've sat through many city council meetings where people come up and talk about, until this street had sidewalks and they redid it, I didn't have a raging river in my backyard, and now I do. And all I heard the city say, well, I'm sorry, it's private property, we can't do anything for it. So you know what? I say if the water is coming down the city street and leaves the city street and gets in the backyard and causes a raging river, at least we're not going to say it's just private property, we can't talk to you. We're going to sit down and have a conversation. I think that we have that negative interaction with our citizens, which instead we ought to be advocating for them. We've got to plan, we've got to maintain, and that's a situation we start talking about the aging infrastructure, just like we have the aging sewer system down in Inverness and River Chase. And back in May, the city came up at a city council meeting and said, we've got an emergency, we've got to take care of this tonight. And it was like, tonight, we can't wait 2 weeks. And we spent $4 million that night or $6 million that night actually to fix it. And again, it's all about planning. You've got to have a plan. And it seems like a lot of these things just pop up and there's no money set aside. Aging infrastructure, stormwater's been a problem for several years. And again, I don't see a plan under my administration about the master plan. We're going to get people that actually understand it and know what they're doing. And we're going to have a good commission. I've actually had many people from the community that have reached out, and I've had some tremendous ideas. Thank you.
Okay, the next topic is education. Chief, we'll start with you, and as everyone here knows, today was the first day of school. This topic has several similar questions submitted from the Bluff Park and Shades Mountain area, and we've combined many questions into 2. So there will be 2. Number 1, what is the mayor's responsibility regarding the constant population growth in Hoover as it relates to the current challenges of overcrowding in Hoover City schools or the classrooms? What needs to happen to alleviate the problems so that schools can keep up with a growing city? Do we need to slow down the growth?
Well, that is something that so we have to talk to the school administration. Obviously, it's autonomous. School board runs schools, city council, mayor's office, city. I've had a lot of conversations with individuals that say that a lot of our schools are becoming overcrowded. We see all the time 3,000, 4,000 new homes potentially being constructed in the city. And it's about smart planning. It's about planning. Again, I keep using the term planning. Our educational system is great. And we want a city that is safe and has a great educational system because that's why people want to move here. But it's got to be smart growth. We've got to make sure that when we're building these homes, that it's not taking effect not only on our schools, but our infrastructure. The great thing that I see about Hoover schools, thank goodness our River Chase Career Center right now is booming. And I certainly see that possibilities of expanding that in the future. There are a lot more people today interested in automotive and fire science, plumbing, and that'll alleviate maybe some things from the high school. I know BluffParkAL Elementary is overcrowded. And again, when it comes down to schools, recently I made an education advisory committee. Had the last 2 school board presidents on it. Dr. Hogan, who just left Hoover High School as the principal. A gentleman who is works for Transfer and Gorey, was an educator, won the Finley Award back in the early 90s. Workforce development, so he can work with RC3 to help individuals that are graduating from there get jobs. And again, it's all about talking. And the reason I want the advisory committee to be able to deal with the school's administration and find out really what we can do to help alleviate some of those problems.
Mayor, out of courtesy, I'll read it to you again, okay? What is the mayor's responsibility regarding the constant population growth in Hoover as it relates to the current challenges of overcrowding in Hoover City Schools classrooms? What needs to happen to alleviate the problems so that the schools can keep up with the growing city? Do we need to slow down the growth?
So first of all new development is reviewed in conjunction with the school system. In 1995, or 93, 95, there was a master plan, so this was long before I got here. About 5,000 homes were approved in the city. Those were approved in conjunction, and the schools were there to understand how they would grow with that. Now, addressing the part about the schools growing, the school system is not actually growing. It's staying in the 13.5 range. They may add 100, they may lose 100 every year. So it's not really growing that much. We add about 330 homes a year into our current inventory. And that has not, according to the school system, has not impacted the areas that are growing like Western Hoover. It has not impacted them. You're seeing the growth in actual schools, individual schools like Bluff Park, because that neighborhood is changing, and you're having new young families move in there. And so they're keeping up with the growth, and the school system was ready to build new classrooms up there. But because they are under an order from the federal courts, they weren't allowed to do it, or did not move forward with it, and so they had put trailers up there. So we're keeping up with the growth, and we walk hand in hand with our school administration. And let me say this, the homes that we have added, 900 of them are 55 plus. They don't really have much of an impact on our schools as well.
Okay, the follow-up question for Dave. Here we go. The follow-up question is this. With new residential construction and development, will you consult directly with the Hoover Schools Superintendent for impact on school population, and before approval, acquire a memorandum of understanding for dedicated land and infrastructure for schools? This approach has been successfully used in earlier years for the system.
It certainly sounds good. It's not something that I would say I would not totally commit to say that tonight, but I would certainly say that I'm open to talking with the administration of the superintendent and the school board. And again, we have to have that type of relationship. I realize that there are people that call me all the time and say we're ready for a third high school, and you know, like I tell them, I said that's not something that the city has really anything to do with. If the superintendent came back and said we've got to have a third high school, then that's something that we'd all have to agree on and again have to work together. When you read that question again, I'm sorry.
Okay, the whole thing?
No, just the ending. Of the impact of schools.
Yeah, for impact on school population,
yeah, right.
And before approval,
right.
Acquire a memorandum of understanding for dedicated land and infrastructure for schools.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, that's something that I wouldn't commit to right now, but it's certainly something that we can talk about. The impact of land, and I'm thinking you're talking about potentially too that some developments would give land for additional schools. Am I correct? Yeah. So that was something that again that we'd have to hear from the school board, and again something that they would have to make those decisions too.
Mayor, I'm going to read it again, okay? With new residential construction and development, will you consult directly with the Hoover Schools Superintendent for impact on school population, and before approval, acquire a memorandum of understanding for dedicated land and infrastructure for schools? This approach has been successfully used in earlier years for the system.
So let me give you a real life example. How about that? Maybe a month and a half ago, there was a new development between Stadium Trace and Shades Crest Road that ran through the gun club. Developer wanted to put 330 homes in there. called Dr. Maddox. We all had a meeting in my office, and we talked about it. Didn't make a decision right there. He went back and got with his folks, determined what the impact would be. Came back to us and said, it will not impact us. Now, the thing that we got out of that, which was kind of nice, we got a new road. We've been trying to get for years without impacting trace crossings or Cahaba River estates. We've been trying to get a new road built, and with those 330 homes, now we're going to get a new road built that will relieve traffic out of Black Ridge, trace crossings, South Shades Crest Road. So the answer is yes, I would. Not only yes, I would, yes, I do, all the time.
All right, thank you. Mayor, this is coming to you. This is on finance. Finance. The Kroll Forensic Audit Report has been a topic discussed during the election cycle. You both have read this report. There's a vast difference in the way you have spoken about it or have been quoted about it. To clear up any confusion or misreporting, what is your determination and interpretation of the report, and what would you say are the positives and negatives of the report?
There's been no mistake. I've been very frank about what went on, and it'd take more than 2 minutes. John's got a pretty good article about it you can read where I was able to go in more depth. But essentially, when I received the report on the Kroll report in 2023, by the way, this is very old, I took immediate action. I notified the council. I asked them for assistance, and I was denied that. A couple of months later, the CFO abruptly resigned, and so I was able to get the CFO there. But once she resigned and we started discovering these problems, I knew that this dealt with our finances, so I called the police chief. The police chief called the Attorney General of the state of Alabama, and they both investigated and found nothing and told us they found nothing, but I was not satisfied with that. I wanted a deep dive into our finances, so in conjunction with the council, we ordered the Kroll report to give that real deep dive, not to define operational issues. We already knew about those. But I wanted to know if there's any kind of misbehavior, any fraud or misrepresentation or any misuse of funds. And there were none. None. It's over with. Now, here we are today, fast forward today. We've made incredible improvements in our finance department. We've implemented new policies, some that were very, very old. I mean, date back 10, 20 years. We've replaced a 25-year-old accounting and payroll system. All of the deficiencies that were identified in the audit have all been corrected. This is very old, and it continues to be brought to the forefront by people with an agenda, essentially. And it's 2 years old, 3 years old.
Yeah, one correction, it was actually Christy Driver that asked for the audit. The Kroll report came out, the mayor said that there was no issues, the Kroll report was fine. I'll go back to what the former CFO Lopez recently said, that she'd gone to the mayor's office back prior to the issues that we've had, and said that they were understaffed, there were people in positions of authority that shouldn't be, people being promoted that shouldn't be, and about the payroll systems, that the payroll system, if we enacted that payroll system, it would be a disaster. So what happened? We did enact a payroll system for 13 months, outside of my door every other Friday, were police officers that were either getting underpaid or overpaid. Underpaid sometimes $500 or $600. They had mortgages to meet the next day. We're running upstairs to try to get checks cut. Some people that were maybe getting a check for $1,500 got one for $4,500. So now we've got to be sure that that money gets replaced. But again, the things that the former CFO, and she did not retire, which has been stated, she actually resigned with 23 years of service because she said, if I'm going to work here, we've got to make changes. We've got to not keep listening to people that don't know what they're doing. We've got to have more staff. We've got to make sure that people in authority are making those decisions. The Crow report said we need more staff. People were in positions they shouldn't be. It said that it was certainly open for fraud, and when everybody said everything was fine, to me it's like opening the bank vault, and thank God nothing's missing.
Okay, Chief, we're going to start with you on this. This is the arts in Hoover, and we're going to make it a two-part question. I can already tell you that. So here we go. As mayor, how would you make the dream of a fine arts facility a reality?
Okay. Well, we've been hearing about the PAC for 9 years, and I think even I've seen somewhere said that we're going to have a PAC in Hoover in the next 4 years. Bottom line, you've got to have a location, you've got to have a business plan, you've got to find out exactly what kind of performing arts center you're going to have. I've been to 2 recently, one in Roswell, Georgia, other one in Greenville, South Carolina. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful places. So again, if we decided that that's the direction we wanted to go, before you borrow money, and we borrowed $17 million, I think right now, that's sitting there for a performing arts center, we've got to figure out what type of shows, community theater, what are we planning to attract? Should be a place, like I said earlier, for local artists to have an area not only to work, but also some sort of gallery. But you've got to have a sustainable business plan. And if we end up building a performing arts center, I would certainly be looking at some partnerships with some private entities, because again, we are the only, as far as I know, the only top 10 city in the state of Alabama that doesn't have one. And I think we all love the arts, and I would certainly be in favor of one if we could make it sustainable. And again, I think if we could get some good partnerships, I think it could be a go.
Ready again? As the mayor, how would you make the dream of a fine arts facility a reality?
One thing you left out is it's about a $50 million deal. And so the first thing you got to do is figure out how you're going to pay for it, how you're going to operate it. We've, in this city, have been talking about a performing arts center even when Patelis was here. He tried to do it and couldn't, it just didn't happen. We tried to, in 2020, right after COVID, that was really our first run at trying to do a performing arts center. And we had a deal, we felt like we had a deal at Patton Creek where they would build the building. That was the model we were using. They would build the building and we would finish it with $17 million. Maybe a month after we borrowed the money and thought we were about ready to close, they sold Patton Creek. So we made another run at it with another developer, but there's so many strings attached, it did not make sense. So we pulled back, we stopped, we rearranged how that money, the money had a time limit on it too. You had to have it spent within 3 years. So we were able to get with our bond attorney, and we were able to take that money and apply it to other capital projects, and take the money that was applied to those projects and actually put it back in an account that frees that $17 million. Essentially, it has no strings attached to it. So we're ready to go. We've already done the groundwork. We know the size. We know the types of performances that we want. We know basically the design of it. So yes, we need to figure out, number one, where we're going to get another $30 million roughly to build it, and then certainly put a plan together where we want to put it. And that comes with bringing a group of concerned art citizens that are anxious to get this done, along with our city council, and we'll work that out and move forward. So it's a process.
Okay, and in a broader spectrum, the arts in Hoover altogether, what other ideas do you have that the arts community would be interested in that Hoover could build on?
Well, first of all, Patton Creek just sold 2 months ago, not 2 years ago. And I have met with the new ownership of Patton Creek, and we've had some discussions about potentially a location. When you talk about arts, Performing Arts Center is something that, again, I'm in favor of it. We can do a sustainable model. I would certainly want input from the citizens when you start talking about arts. I mean, arts is, you know, the majority of people in my household enjoy the arts. My wife's asking all the time, why don't we have more to do? And it's something that I would ask our citizens. Again, I want to have town halls all over our community, in different parts of our community. All of our communities are different. To go out to Greystone, come to Bluff Park, we want to talk to the citizens and see exactly what they want, and we can deliver. But I don't want to just come out and say this is the kind of decisions that I want to make. I just think we need input and hopefully come up with some great ideas. And one thing that my administration can do, we can deliver, because we deliver the police department, we can deliver as a mayor of the city.
Okay, and out of courtesy again, what other areas, Mayor, what other ideas do you have that the arts community would be interested in and that Hoover can build on?
Just a correction, Patton Creek has sold 4 times in my 9 years. The last time it sold was a few months ago. I've met with a number of artists in our community. And when we talk about the Performing Arts Center, it actually offended a lot of folks because we were leaving out the visual arts, people that paint, sculpt, those types of artists. And so that's something that we've got to address, both of those communities. Now, I think we've got a great plan at the 3021 building to bring back something very similar to what we had with Artists on the Bluff, where we can bring artists in, rent those spaces out where they can teach art, where they can display art, where we can have opportunities for groups to meet and have demonstrations, things of that nature. And the other thing about the 3021 building, it'd be a great place for our historical society. And the other thing about the 3021 building, we want to revitalize, continue to revitalize Lorna Road. There's been revitalization to the south of us. Then you start with 3021, which is right there in historic Monte D'Oro. That could revitalize. That could be a stepping stone to start to revitalize that area when you put a great museum of arts in that building. So those are the kinds of things that I'd like to see done.
All right, Mayor. Let's see if we can get this right. Thank you. Now, this topic is probably the hardest that you can do. It's about you. You both have served Hoover for many years. During your long tenure of public service to our city, what accomplishment or achievement are you most proud of?
Gosh, there's a lot of things I'm proud of. Leadership Hoover, the fact that we brought that in. I've been to Leadership Shelby County, Leadership Birmingham, Leadership Alabama. We were able to do that, bring Leadership Hoover here, where now citizens in our community can learn and understand about their community. I love the little inclusive playground that we built at the Met. Now kids with all different abilities, physical or mental, it doesn't matter, can go out there and play. Those are small things that make a big impact on lives. And when we opened that, we were getting Facebook messages from people all over Alabama that had children that had various types of disabilities, and they couldn't wait to come to Hoover, Alabama. And you know, something I didn't even realize is that there are parents that have disabilities that couldn't play with their children. Now they can do that in our city. And so there's a little things that I'm proud of. I could tell you some things. You talked about my whole career, talk about things we did on the fire department. I mean, the little red trucks that you see running around, the rescue trucks, the ambulances, that was something, a plan that I put in, and Chief Wingate designed them, and I put the plan in to get them into operation. And today, a year ago, something that we did in 1995, a year ago, saved us when we had to go into the total ambulance service. We were ready to go. So, and then developing a comprehensive plan that gives you a footprint and a guide for what's going forward. Those are important things that our planning and zoning board needs. and our city council needs to determine all of the other things that we've been talking about tonight. How we grow, smart growth, how we finance it, those types of things. So little things and small things.
Yeah, thank you. You know, being a police officer for 40 years, I think it's what a career. And the fact that I've been there for 40 years, I've hired people that have worked 30 and retired. And I'm still there. So really, probably the personnel that I've worked with over the 40 years, but probably something I'm most proud of is our SROs. In 1994, had breakfast with Dr. Bumpus. Dr. Bumpus was superintendent of schools at the time. And I told him that Hoover High School was going to be a large high school, and felt like what a great opportunity to put a police officer in a school as a mentor, as somebody that, growing up, I was always told, see a police officer, that's who you go to for help. And that would just, mentoring and of course, high school kids start driving, dating, drinking, those type of things. So from there, the one officer, I'll never forget, actually December 14th, 2012, Sandy Hook, the massacre, first time we ever had a massacre at an elementary school, all those kids getting killed. So I called the patrol folks and I said, have a police officer at every school today standing out front when those parents pick up their kids. Because as a parent, I know how those parents felt, especially with elementary school. So I got a call from the superintendent later that day, and he said, hey, I don't know who did, but great move on sending a lot of great comments from parents and comments from teachers. So from there, it was December, school was out in a couple of days, went to the council, put $100,000 in the budget. We put an SRO in every elementary school for the rest of that year.
Hello, can we hear me? Yes. All right, good. All right, thank you. So we're about to take our 10-minute break. You guys will hang with me, okay? And when we return, we're going to go do some follow-up questions. If you have any cards that you have written a question on and you haven't turned it in, please give it to a Hoover Bell and they will bring it over to our table. If you need to use the restroom, you may go out this door and they are to the right. And again, we'll start again in about 10 minutes, okay?
All right, so we're going to continue, and now we're going to ask questions that y'all submitted during the beginning of this session. So we've been taking questions. We still have some questions. We turn them in the sorting table. But we're going to get started with your follow-up questions.
All right, thank you, Darla. We're going to get started. You two just a second to settle and get ready. Readers, you're ready with the two follow-up questions? Yeah, okay. There was a card that was given to our committee. It had a question on there, and the question was, were the candidates provided questions in advance? They got lots of papers and stuff up here. Under my direction, they were allowed to bring notes if they wanted, clipboards, phones, whatever they wanted, as long as they didn't bring a computer or something big where we couldn't see their face. I'm good with that. The way that we get our questions is from you. They stay with us until the night of the forum. Okay? Is that clear? Y'all tracking me? All right. Hey, I haven't had to kick anybody out yet. I'm doing good. All right. Big smiles. Give them a round of applause. They've done really good. All right. Proceed when ready.
Okay, and Chief, I'm going to start with you on this one. So here we go. What will you do as mayor to ensure the future success of the River Chase Galleria? Not by replacing it or surrounding it with new construction, but by attracting new businesses to existing infrastructure.
The question, actually, have had some discussions with some folks that have some really interesting concepts for the gallery. And again, when you start talking about economic development, I would love to be able to discuss some of the things that I think could potentially happen. But I would say that we've got to either get on, right now, for 9 years, the Galleria obviously is an eyesore. Again, no stores that most of the Hoover residents want to shop in. Von Meyer's great, Costco's great. But I would get on an airplane if I had to and go to where Chicago, where it's run out of, and I would talk to them and try to work some deals to try to incentivize, do whatever we've got to do. But the Galleria, again, for the mainstay of Hoover, Alabama for so many years, when the Galleria came, obviously all the other shopping centers that were built. But it's just, I don't really understand it. And I don't think for 9 years, as I said, 9 years ago, the Galleria was better off then than what it is today. And I would do whatever we had to do. I would again, get on an airplane, talk to people, try to get other developers, try to make things happen. But I realize people say, well, you can't make things happen. Well, I think you can, but I think you've got to be very aggressive. And I hope that when elected, that you'll see a huge change.
Okay, Mayor, I'll ask you the same question. Going forward, what will you do as mayor to ensure the future success of the River Chase Galleria, not by replacing it or surrounding it with new construction, but by attracting new businesses to existing infrastructure?
Well, I don't know where he would fly to, but there are 9 owners of the campus, the Galleria. So it's not just a one-stop shop solution. And the Galleria is actually it's actually making a comeback. There are people shopping there. The tourism industry that we have created and the travel industry that we've had, you're seeing it much more vibrant than it has been in the last 9 years. Now, can we go forward that way for the next 10 or 15 years? No, we cannot. But what we have done is we have gotten those 8 or 9 owners together and we said, let's do a study to see what the future is of River Chase Galleria. I think we're going to present that September the 8th to our city council. And that'll give us a roadmap as well. But in the meantime, malls all over the country are nowhere near as in good a shape as ours. Look at Brookwood Mall. It's in a pretty good place too. It's weeds growing. Ours is not that way. We have about 7 million people come to that campus a year. So it is providing a lot of sales tax. And number one, you're going to hear the mayor continue to talk positively about it, not negatively about it. That's the first thing I'm going to do for economic development. But the industry has changed. That's all there is to it. You're not going to get 2 of the same types of stores. If one is at Summit, not a good chance it's coming over to the Galleria, or vice versa. That's just not. Retail sales have changed. Online sales go up 16% every year. We see it all across the state with other mayors telling us exactly what's going on, and we're all telling pretty much the same story.
All right, Mayor, I'll start with you on this question. How would you describe the I can't even say this word. Delineation of roles between the mayor, the city council, and the city administrator?
So the mayor's the CEO of the city. That is something I set the vision. I kind of try to set the course for our city to make sure that, the thing that I talk about a lot is what our quality of life is. Focusing on putting great departments together that do what they do. Great engineering department that does the great things that they do. Great economic development department does the great things that they do. Police, fire, all of those things. Now, the city council, I told you earlier, I'm a visitor there. I'm not a member of the council. That entire operation is run by the council president. He sets the agenda, he acknowledges who can speak, they determine everything what goes on the agenda, that all of that belongs to him, not me. So it's two separate we got three branches of government, and executive, legislative, and judicial. Same way in the city. That's exactly how we're set up. We're separate, but equal. Now, in terms of the city manager is the person that runs the day-to-day operations of the city. He is over the engineering department. He's over park and rec. He's over just making sure that the streets are paved, make sure the trash is picked up, make sure that citizens' complaints are handled. He's the manager of the city, so to speak. So I set the vision. He manages the city in terms of day-to-day operation. In the city council, they are the ones that allocate the funds for us to do the things that we do. That's their job.
The mayor is the CEO of the city, and as CEO, the mayor is responsible to work with the city council, advise them of situations that are taking place. The mayor generally oversees and has direction with department heads. The city administrator that we have is over pretty much all department heads also. He works, carries out the mayor's vision. City council, of course, they're the ones that pass local legislation. The council, again, for 4 city council members to have endorsed me, I just really question the type of relationship that the mayor's office has with the city council right now. And I think that's one of the issues that we've had, and one of the situations that why aren't we moving this city in the direction that we should, back to the standard of excellence. And I've not seen that. And again, that's one of the reasons that I said that I was running to begin with. But again, CEO, council, legislation, administrator, daily activity.
All right, to keep us on time, we are going to let both candidates go ahead and do their closing statements, and you guys just let me know when you're ready. And after they're finished, we will pitch back to Ms. Darla Williams.
First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. This has been very entertaining for all of us, I'm sure. I would like for everybody to please go to Derzis for Mayor. I've been doing Nick at Night, I've done 8 episodes. The last episode had Tony Bertellis and Alan Pate talking about bringing the SEC baseball tournament here, talking about bringing, was hired to build the Metropolitan Stadium, and recently helped negotiate the SEC deal to stay in Hoover. But by Nick at Nights, I think you'll learn a lot more about what we want to do educationally, park and rec, have some issues that we can certainly all comes down to planning. We've heard a lot of different things tonight. And again, I would hope that many of you would go back and fact check some of it and make sure that all of it is accurate information. Brookwood Mall's been closed for years. I'd also like to talk about my endorsements. I talked about the 4 city council members that are sitting on the city council today. I've got 2 of the Jefferson County Commissioners, President Jimmy Stevens and Judge Mike Bolin, who both have a lot to do with Hoover. District Attorney Danny Carr, who's also a Hoover resident, and Alabama State Attorney General Steve Marshall. So why do these guys endorse me? They endorse me because they know me. They know the type of leader that I've been. They know the type of leader that I've been in the Hoover Police Department. And they know that if I'm elected, that we can make things happen. I can assure you, the Jefferson County Commission cares about Hoover, and I think they think that Hoover may be a little bit tired, and that we can do better, as I've said all along. And again, I want to say thank you again for everyone for coming tonight. I've enjoyed it, and please consider voting for me on August 26th. Thank you very much.
Well, I too thank each and every one of you for being here and for an hour and a half. But, you know, there's been a lot of negative in this race, but I believe that the people of Hoover know the difference between noise and results. So while others have been throwing stones, we've built a stronger, safer, more vibrant city, and we've done that together. This election is about the future of Hoover and our children. Francis and I have been married 53 years and raised our children here. There are actually 4 generations of Brocatos in Hoover, Alabama, not to mention my sisters and brothers and nieces and nephews. 6 of my 9 kids my 9 grandchildren attended Hoover schools, and 2 have now graduated. My granddaughter Izzy is heading off to Mississippi State. We wanted to go to Auburn, but she didn't. And she wants to return as a first grade teacher at Deer Valley. So this election is about the future of Hoover. It's very plain and simple. We've got a proven track record, the things that we've done. Everything from, you know, a new business opens here every 9 days. We've revitalized Warner Road, Bluff Park, all throughout the city, Russet Woods. But you know, I can sit here and talk really, really good about our city and tell you all the great things, but how about this? 25 times in the last 8 years, America's 50 best cities to live in, 24/7 Wall Street. Best place to live in America, niche.com. Best place to live in Alabama, Up Homes. Top 100 places to live in the U.S., Life in the USA. Top 100 places to live in the United States, Home Snacks. 8 best places, 8 most charming cities in Alabama, World Atlas. Applause after applause, accolade after accolade. So I'm asking you, all of these things are really great things going on. The facts don't lie. You can believe this doom and gloom, but it's not the truth. Frank Brocato for mayor.
Trying to figure out which direction we're going. Also, if you would like more information about the forum, we have a Facebook page. If you would like to volunteer with us in the future, just send us a note there and let us know. We're all volunteers and everybody's invested a lot of time to bring the candidates to you this week. So there's just a quick thank you. We'd like to thank the members of the committee, Todd True, who is president of the Monte D'Oro Neighborhood Association. We met him earlier. Adam Fowler, also from Monte D'Oro. Brandy Guthrie from River Chase. Anna Lou Hemphill from Monte D'Oro. Eileen Lewis from Monte D'Oro. Jen Michelini from here in Bluff Park. Heather Skaggs, our fearless leader over here, who is in Bluff Park. Myself in Bluff Park. And Suzanne Wright, who is from Monte D'Oro. We'd also like to thank our volunteers this evening. Michael Allen and Lee Guthrie were our timekeepers. They're from River Chase and our college students we have drafted in to help us. Kyle Hall is from Bluff Park. Luann Tibbs was here on Tuesday. Bess Hatcher from Bluff Park. And thank you to the Hoover Bells and their advisor, Jenny Alley, for coordinating, getting everyone here. Also a big thank you to Shades Crest Baptist Church for allowing us to use the space. This has been a great space, a great community space for us and for Ryan Kirkland and our audio engineer, Mr. Carter. So thank you all for being with us this evening. And I think Heather has another.
Where's John Anderson? John Anderson. Oh, there he is. Right here. Hey, John. So we've been doing this forum It originally originated in 2008, and it has evolved into this. And you know, we've been doing this a very long time. There's been other forums that have come out as well. You guys have been in a lot of places the last couple of weeks. A lot of forums, a lot of town halls. You know, it's very that's a tough campaign trail to be on. Mr. John Anderson here is going to tell you about the next one that's coming up.
Thank you, Heather. I just want to congratulate them, Heather, and their committee on putting together 2 really good forums. Just I appreciate it. Very good job. I do want to let you know the next one, the Hoover Sun is partnering with the Hoover Area Chamber of Commerce and the League of Women Voters of Greater Birmingham. Next Thursday night, we'll be having one at the Hoover City Schools Performing Arts Center. It's at Hoover High School. It was initially set for 6 o'clock because of a conflict with another event taking place at the high school that night. We're going to have to bump it to 6:30, but it'll still be there at the Performing Arts Center at Hoover High School next Thursday night. And we've invited all of the council candidates and the mayoral candidates, and I hope they can all attend. And it should be a good night with questions and answers and statements from the candidates.
All right. Y'all may rise. Everybody have a good evening. Be very safe.